All right, so ladies and gentlemen, had to take a small break from marathon video planning to go ahead and address this. A pretty big break in general as we're talking about Arc Raiders content specifically. Started routing into variety content pretty early. If you're a subscriber watching this, then you'll notice that the channel is no longer Lance's mixtape branded, but that's neither here nor there. Just a few hours ago, Embark Studios went ahead and dropped their content roadmap slated for the first 4 months of the year for Arc Raiders in a phase that they're titling Escalation. And I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, it looks like we are in for an absolutely jam-packed spring because we're also anticipating the launch of Marathon being delivered to us in the first week of March. By the time we hit February, it's only gonna be a little over 30 days away. And of course, as per usual with Bungie, that's gonna come with some kind of controversy, either how they're handling Destiny or now what's going on with intellectual property theft. A whole separate can of worms and not all details that are gonna be covered in a separate video, but it is something we're going to discuss at a later time. But for today and right now, this escalation roadmap is definitely stuck out to me. It looks like Embark Studios is coming out the gate swinging for 2026. So if we go ahead and take a look at this escalation roadmap, starting off with headwinds in January, I presume this is probably going to be dropping on the 29th. Embark likes to target Thursdays for their content updates, and they might even go a bit earlier, who knows. Headwinds is going to be giving us a new matchmaking pool for level 40 and up, a new minor map condition, and a player project. It doesn't say an event, it just says a player project. So I'm curious what that's about. And the part I'm especially curious about is this new matchmaking pool, because I'm wondering if they're going to be doing an ABI forbidden zone kind of thing where you have a loot requirement or like a loadout value requirement that you need to bring in as a means of getting specifically into PvP designated lobbies. And honestly, if that's Embark's way of addressing the constant PvP, PvE situation or hot commodity discussion people are having within this Arc Raiders community, then I think that would be a pretty good way of addressing it without doing any faction or bounty systems, any ways to artificially encourage or discourage player behavior. Although specific factions and exclusive rewards would be cool, if this new matchmaking pool is made to address that, I think it should work out quite nicely, especially if it's a way to ensure that you don't end up spawning into a raid late. If it ends up having like higher tier loot, of course, if you see at the bottom here, it says as well as new gameplay items. Kind of wondering if some of those items would tie into this new matchmaking option, so you could only get some of that higher tier, more expensive loot in the new level 40 plus pool. Not totally sure, but it's something fun to speculate on until we get more information. For February, we're looking at Shrouded Sky, which is going to bring us a new map condition, some new arc, yes, a new player project, our third raider deck, a map update. I'm thinking, just taking a wild guess, probably about Spaceport. And the expedition is also next month, so if you guys haven't wiped yet, or if you have, then of course you're going to be getting even more stash space, even more repair bonuses with this upcoming expedition here in February. Personally, I haven't wiped yet, so this is going to be expanding my stash space and getting some bonuses for the first time for me. Some new arc is always welcome. I've had conversations with peers numerous times where we just talk about how the day raid arc presence, once you get kind of used to the flow of the game, is not that threatening, to be totally honest, and it makes a lot of that tension that you originally experienced when you first pick up the game just kind of subside once you know your only threat is against raiders and you get good at positioning and gunplay. So at that point, you just delegate most of your attention to playing on night raids or going to Stella Montis for PvP, playing on Electromagnetic Storm, things like that. You want to play the map affixes or you want to go to Stella Montis. I think the Shredder was a great addition as to how Arc can be a larger factor that's impacting just the regular, moment to moment interactions in the game. But since it's only available on Stella Montis, it's not necessarily bringing that same level of threat to other maps in the game. And honestly, this could be a totally tone deaf statement because I have seen, new players, I tune into live streams sometimes where they struggle to kill like ticks or pops or fireballs. And I'm sure that the game is designed in a certain way that once you kind of get the hang of it, they aren't that huge of an issue to deal with, generally speaking. Kind of like with the base level flying arc and the Wasp and Hornet, where you find out over time that if you shoot the back rotors that are unguarded from armor pieces, that they will just instantly go down instead of chipping away at the cameras or at the front rotors. It seems like they have an intuitive design where it can be interpreted from the player's point of view without too much friction, while also remaining engaging at the same time. So I just wonder if this new arc that they bring to the game is going to be on all the maps and it's going to bring the same level of threat as the Shredder does in Stella, or if it's more so just going to exist within the experience. It's something that you have to account for and not something that you need to fear as much. Taking a look at March, the Flashpoint update is going to be bringing us another map condition, another arc, another player project, and a scrappy update. Kind of interested in what a potential scrappy update could be. Not totally sure what that's about, but we'll definitely welcome some new map conditions. Looks like we're getting 3 map conditions here, of technically 4. It says we're getting a minor map condition this month, but it looks like they're really honing in on the interactivity here, and the fact that we're going to be getting 4 new map conditions, 3 new arc, and one of them being a boss, and as well as some stuff to grind with some player projects, and going to be updating one of the existing maps, a scrappy update. I'm really interested in what that is. But if we take a look at April here in Riven Tides, we're going to be giving a new map. Looks like there's some sand on the ground there, and the icon itself, I'm not sure if the icon is much to go off of, but it has a beachy kind of icon. You see we got the little beach umbrella there in the sand, and then there's sand in the background. That might be a little teaser of the map. I'm going to be getting a new boss, another new map condition, and the expedition windows are every couple months. So if we go ahead and wipe in February, then we can expect to have the next opportunity to wipe in April. And at the bottom here, we just see as well as new quests, new feats, trials, and events, gameplay items, cosmetics, quality of life updates. Can't wait for those, and more. And other than that speculation that I gave a bit earlier in terms of what I think some of these updates could entail, there's really not that much to go on right now. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the Headwinds update is going to bring us next week, and some of the following updates in the next 3 months of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're as excited for this upcoming spring as I am, because Bungie financially cannot afford to fuck up Marathon, although it won't be totally surprising if they do. As I said, this is all stuff that we're going to cover in the Marathon video, because I mean, we got some stuff to talk about there. But yeah, this is just kind of a small overview going over the escalation roadmap that Embark Studios dropped earlier today. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this kind of content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with the bell, and I will catch you all next time.